Chapter 4. Back to reality. Brian's apartment was cloaked in shadow, the flickering glow of a muted television casting restless patterns across the walls. The camera of his mind panned the room. Unopened bills stacked on the coffee table, family photos face down, a half-empty glass of water trembling on the edge of a coaster. On the couch, Brian stirred. He mumbled incoherently, his face twisted in discomfort. Sweat trickled down his temple. His body twitched like he was locked inside a nightmare. In his mind, he was still trapped, wandering the labyrinth of distorted memories that had swallowed him in recent days. Then, "Wake up!" Mr. B's voice snapped, sharp as a whip. "Wake up, you idiot. They're at the door." Brian's eyes shot open. For a moment, he stared at the ceiling, disoriented, lungs working in ragged bursts. The television crackled faintly in the background, but he barely registered it. What? What's going on? His voice was hoarse, a man dragged unwillingly back into the world. "About time," Mr. B sneered. "You were out for a while. Thought I'd have to take over for good. But you're back, sort of." Brian sat up slowly, the apartment around him both familiar and alien, like a set he had lived on but never really seen. He shook his head, trying to clear the fog. "You're not dreaming anymore, genius," Mr. B snapped. "Listen. Do you hear that?" Brian tilted his head. At first, only silence, punctuated by the groan of old pipes. Then he heard it, a faint rhythmic pounding. His brow furrowed. "What the hell is that?" "Finally, you're catching on," Mr. B mocked. "It's the cops, Brian, and they're not here to hand you a fruit basket. Now move, unless you want to rot in a cell." The pounding intensified. Voices followed, stern and commanding. "Open up! Police!" Panic flooded him like ice water. He lurched to his feet. "Oh God, what did you do? Emmy?" Mr. B feigned offence. "Don't look at me like that. You know exactly why they're here. Or have you forgotten the severed ear and the therapist's ID? You were there too, remember?" Fragments surged back. Blood, screams Dr. Madison's face. Brian shook his head violently. "No, that wasn't real." "Whoa, it was real," Mr. B whispered, dark with satisfaction. "And if you don't move your ass now, the cops will make sure it's the last thing you remember." The pounding became a thunder. Brian's eyes darted around the apartment, desperate for escape. His gaze landed on the wardrobe against the far wall. He rushed over and shoved it aside, revealing a jagged hole into the neighbouring unit. "You're welcome," Mr. B said smugly. "Had the foresight to set this up, in case of emergencies, like now." Brian didn't hesitate. He crawled through, landing in a dimly lit room that reeked of obsession. Every wall was plastered with distorted pictures of Mr. B grotesque portraits staring back at him. "A creepy, huh?" Mr. B chuckled. "But it's home. For now. This is insane," Brian whispered, clutching his head. "I'm losing my mind." No time for a breakdown," Mr. B snapped. "Grab the mask." On a table lay a special effects mask, eerily lifelike, crafted to make him decades older. Brian hesitated only a beat before pulling it over his face, the silicone sealed to his skin, transforming him. He grabbed a backpack already packed with essentials and turned toward the door. Outside, chaos erupted as police battered into his apartment. Booby traps exploded with concussive force, screams and shouts reverberating through the building. "Showtime," Mr. B murmured. Brian stumbled into the hallway, now playing the role of a terrified old man. He cried out for help, his voice trembling. Officers rushed past him, focused on the smoke and carnage behind. None spared him a second glance. "Keep moving," Mr. B urged, almost clear. Brian hurried down the stairs, heart pounding until he burst onto the street. A crowd had gathered to gawk at the spectacle. He blended seamlessly among them, clutching his bag like a survivor. At the bus stop, a city bus screeched to a halt. He climbed aboard and collapsed near the back. The driver eyed him through the rear-view mirror. "What the hell happened back there?" "A hostage situation," Brian muttered, voice shaking. "I was lucky to get out." The driver nodded and shifted into gear. The bus rumbled forward, carrying Brian deeper into the city. He leaned against the window, eyes closed, mind a storm of panic and disbelief. "You're nothing without me," Mr. B whispered. His tone was half taunt, half intimate. "I'm the one who gets things done. You're just the dreamer, the weak one." Shut up," Brian growled under his breath. Mr. B laughed, the sound echoing through his skull. "Though, Brian, we're only getting started." The bus rolled into the neon-stained night. From a distance, it was just another vehicle swallowed by the city as Mr. B's low chuckle faded into the dark.